If you've ever felt overwhelmed at the thought of taking your little ones across the globe, but miss traveling like you used to in your pre-kid years, or just really want to expose them to cultural learning early, keep watching for how to prepare your kids for international travel.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
Hello, busy breakers. My name is Christina, and I'm the owner of Showcase the World Travel, a modern travel agency dedicated to helping families take a break from the busy. And I caught the travel bug on my very first trip to Walt Disney World when I was 8. I'd been to Disneyland a few times, but I had never been to Epcot. And man, did I fall in love. I had to visit all of those countries. I knew it. I knew I had to visit all those countries after my first trip to Epcot. And so I started Showcase the World to help other families explore the world together, make memories, and experience new things together to build a foundation for their children that may even affect who they become. And so today we're diving into a topic close to my heart, preparing your kids for international travel. I remember feeling both really excited but a little nervous bringing my daughter Annabelle on her first international trip when she was 2 years old. With some preparation, you can make the journey as smooth and enjoyable as possible. Let's get started. First things first, you want to ensure that all of your travel documents are in order. Kids need passports too, and depending on your destination, you might need visas or other paperwork. It might sound daunting, but with a little organization, you can have everything ready well in advance of your trip. A travel advisor will help ensure you have everything you need for the destination you are visiting. They'll help you understand what documentation that you need for whatever destination you are traveling to. Starting to travel internationally at a young age can be incredibly beneficial for kids. It exposes them to different cultures, languages, and experiences that they'll remember for a lifetime. Many people advise waiting to travel internationally with children until they're older, suggesting it's better to wait until they can remember the experience. However, there are such significant benefits to starting them young. The earlier children begin traveling, the easier it becomes for them to adapt to new environments and routines. Traveling from a young age instills a deep-seated flexibility and curiosity in children, and qualities become an integral part of their character. Rather than waiting for them to be old enough to remember, consider the profound impact with the broadening perspectives and the developed resilience from early travel experiences and how they can affect their overall growth and understanding of the world. So a lot of people say to wait. I think traveling with kids becomes easier and easier the more you do it. So we traveled recently with my brothers and their kids, and my daughter's a little bit older, but just seeing the difference from her at the same age as my nieces and nephews, she was so used to traveling that, it was easy. Whereas their kids haven't traveled nearly as much, and so it was a little bit more of a shock to their system. They didn't have the skills developed that my daughter did at the same age, just from repetition, essentially. One of the best ways to get your child excited and comfortable about visiting a new country is through cultural exposure. Before our trip to London, we read books like Katie Goes to London and watched movies that featured the city. Annabelle was so thrilled when we got to our hotel and she could see Big Ben, and she pointed it out and said, "Hey Mom, that's where Peter Pan flew, and that's the clock they fixed in Mary Poppins Returns." And it just made it more real and engaging for her to see something that she recognized versus just a big clock with no perspective. We have some incredible activity books for grade school children with crafts, recipes, and games inspired by different destinations. So we're going to put a link below for you to have access to that, to go ahead and purchase those guides. We have Mexico, Italy, England, as well as a few others. So if you are traveling traveling, that's a great way to get grade school kids involved in learning about some of the destinations. My daughter really loves the Who Was books and show. Before our trip to Italy, we read Galileo, Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Julius Caesar, and she was so excited to share her knowledge with the guides. It was so much fun for her to tell the guides what she knew about the location or the place. And so when we were in Pisa, she was super excited to talk about how Galileo used the Tower of Pisa. We also visited local Greek restaurants and practiced a few phrases before our trip to Greece. It's a fun way to introduce new tastes and sounds, plus who doesn't love a good spanakopita? Show your children pictures and videos of where they'll be visiting, and it will help them associate with it and give it a little bit more meaning to them. It turns abstract names into real places that they can see and get excited about. So in terms of logistics, when booking your flights, consider a red eye. Kids can sleep through most of the journey, which helps them in adjusting to the time zone changes. About a week before the trip, start adjusting their bedtime to get closer to the schedule of your destination, so it's not one big rude awakening. Packing is crucial. Include comfort items like a favorite toy or blanket to help your child feel secure. Also, pack plenty of activities to keep them entertained in the flight, just in case they don't sleep. When you get there, try to keep that first day low-key. Travel can be exhausting, and keeping your schedule light on the first day helps everyone adjust without feeling overwhelmed. So if you're having some meltdowns and things like that, you can take it easy, explore a park, kind of have two plans for that day. The, hey, we need to take it easy plan, try to avoid napping as much as possible or else you're going to not be able to adjust as quickly. But what's something low-key? Is it hanging out by the pool? Is it walking around one of the parks? What's something that you can do that doesn't require as much focus or energy, right? And then have a second plan that if things are going well and your kids are excited, then go and do something that's exciting, that's going to burn energy, that's going to keep that adrenaline going so that they find it easier to crash that night. So when we got to Rome, one of the things we did was gladiator school, and it perked my daughter right up. She got so into it. She still talks about gladiator school. We're doing a video on her favorite things that we did in Italy. She's going to be doing that video. So make sure you subscribe because that's going to be coming out soon. During the trip, keep your kids engaged with things that they've learned about before the trip. Ask them questions about the sites and encourage them to tell you what they know, right? Like I talked about when we were in Italy, she was so excited to share about Galileo at the Tower of Pisa. And when we were in the Uffizi Gallery, she talked a lot about Michelangelo and Da Vinci, and so it was really exciting for her to understand what was happening instead of just seeing things that had no meaning to her. One of the other things I try to do is make sure each member of the family gets to do that one thing that they really want to do. So giving your kids, toddlers and older, this really works well with my 5-year-old, an option of things to do that day. Do you want to do a cooking class or do you want to do gladiator school, right? Do you want to go to the Museum of Transport in London where we can see all of these really, really cool subways and cars and things like that? Or do you want to go to tea, right? So giving them some options of things that you're looking at doing and letting them pick one thing that they really, really, really want to do during your trip is really important. It's also vital to plan for downtime. Even your preschooler who has outgrown their afternoon nap might require a quiet rest period after lunch to stave off some of those meltdowns. You might not need a full nap, but at least that quiet time with, an iPad even just to kind of relax a little bit, get off your feet and get rejuvenated. Don't forget to embrace the unexpected. Some of the best memories come from those unplanned experiences. And be ready to adapt your plans based on your child's needs and interests. Something that I've found is that it's so much easier to travel with your child if you're flexible, right? Some of those rules go out the window, And when you're in Italy, have pasta for dinner every night. It's fine. My daughter would have gelato for breakfast. When we were in London, you just want to go with the flow and be super, super flexible and relax some of those rules that you typically have. Maybe there's some extra screen time involved. But the more flexible you are, the easier it's going to be. At the end of the trip, take some time to reflect on the experiences you've had. Encourage your child to talk about their favorite moments and what they learned. Back home, you can work together to create a scrapbook or a digital album, which helps reinforce their memories and the joys of discovering all of those new places. And there you have it. Those are my tips on how to prepare your child for international travel. If you've enjoyed this video and found some of the tips helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more travel insights and inspiration, and share your own experiences in the comments below. Don't let the logistics keep you from exploring the world. With the right preparation and the right travel planner, your family can embark on incredible adventures together. Remember, each trip is an opportunity to teach your children about the vast, beautiful world out there. So pack your bags, prepare your itineraries, and set off on a journey that will enrich your family's lives forever. Thank you so much for joining. If you're planning your next family adventure and feel a bit overwhelmed, remember, help is just a quick call away. Reach out to us and let the travel advisors at Showcase the World make your travel dreams a reality. Thank you so much for joining, and don't forget to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.